The story begins by showing a paleobiologist named Emma Russell, who is still traumatized by the 2014 Godzilla attack, where in the attack she lost her son Andrew. 5 years after the attack, Emma now works for the Monarch and lives with her daughter Madison at Monarch Post 61. That day, Emma, Madison and the Monarch workers witnessed the birth of a monster larva called Matra. After hatching, the Monarch security system suddenly crashed so that Matra became berserk. In the midst of that situation, Emma managed to calm Matra down by using a device she created called Orca. The Orca is a device that can emit frequencies to attract or alter the behavior of monsters or titans. A moment later, there was an explosion inside the facility, followed by the arrival of a group of armed terrorists led by former British Army Colonel Alan Jonah. The terrorist group killed all the scientists in the facility and kidnapped Emma and Madison. Meanwhile, Matra is known to have escaped and cocooned under a waterfall in China. The news of the attack finally reached the ears of Dr. Serizawa and Vivian. They then immediately met the former Monarch employee, as well as Emma's ex-husband and Madison's father named Mark, to tell them what had happened. Vivian was convinced that the terrorists wanted the device created by Emma. Orca was originally a prototype developed by Emma together with Mark. But after Mark left the monarchy and divorced Emma, Emma developed the device alone. Dr. Serizawa now asks Mark to join him in searching for Emma and Madison because he doesn't want Orca to fall into the hands of terrorists. Long story short, they finally arrive at Bravo Castle, a Monarch facility used to track and study Godzilla. It was inside the facility that Mark, Dr. Serizawa and other members of the Monarch began to dissect the identity of Alan Jonah. From his perspective, Mark was not convinced that Alan Jonah was targeting Matra. He seemed to deliberately want Orca to raise a much larger creature, and rightly so. Alan Jonah and his troops take Emma and Madison to the 32nd Monarch facility located in Antarctica. There is a monster or three-headed titan that is still frozen. The creature called Monster Zero wants to be resurrected by Alan Jonah because Alan has a belief that monsters or titans have an important. Moving on to Bravo Castle, there was a sudden earthquake at the facility, signaling the arrival of Godzilla. The Monarch workers who saw this immediately prepared their weapons and closed the protective walls. But after seeing Godzilla's reaction, Mark then told everyone to lower their weapons and open Godzilla's protective wall, as if giving a signal to them, and going straight to the Monarch facility located in Antarctica. Thanks to the instructions from Godzilla, the Monarch team immediately left for Antarctica. Alan Jonah detected the arrival of the Monarch team, so he asked his troops to speed up the release of the Zero monster. Once inside the facility, Monarch's troops were defeated by Alan's troops, who had set up a trap. Seeing Emma and Madison still inside, Mark finally went down to save them. At first, he managed to meet up with Emma and Madison and invited them to come with him. But for some reason, Emma agreed with Alan Jonah's mission, so she forbade Madison to approach her father. Emma then threw a bomb towards the ice that finally managed to free the Zero monster. As a result of that, chaos began to occur. The Zero monster, that had been frozen for hundreds of years, immediately went on a rampage and attacked everything around it. Emma and Madison were then taken by Alan and some of his troops to escape by helicopter. Emma, who still felt sorry for the Monarch team, activated Orca to withstand Zero's monster attack, although in the end he and the others just left. In the midst of the situation, Monarch's team got help from Godzilla. There was a fierce battle between the two monsters, but it turned out that the Zero monster was not an easy opponent for Godzilla. Monster Zero then ate Vivian, who was running. And that made Dr. Serizawa very devastated. Until finally, they got help from the Argo mothership, which managed to attack the Zero monster. Until the monster flew out of the facility. The next day, Monarch's team immediately tracked the whereabouts of Alan and Godzilla, which both led to Isla de Mara located in Mexico, from Monarch's vault in Boston. Emma then contacted Monarch and confirmed her opinion about the monster that aligned with Alan. For every problem on planet Earth related to overpopulation, environmental pollution, and wars and the destruction of the Earth by humans. Maybe if they free the monsters, the Earth will be better and Orca can be used to control them. After that, Emma was asked to use Orca to awaken the monster. Inside the Isla de Mara facility, namely a monster in the form of a fireguard bird called Rodin. Before any more damage was done, Monarch's team deliberately lured the Rodin into the storm that contained the Zero monster. Thanks to the efforts and hard work of the Monarch team, Rodin was successfully brought together with the Zero monster until there was a fierce battle between the two monsters, which was won by the Zero monster. After the Rodin was defeated, Godzilla ambushed the Zero monster again and cut off one of its heads. After the Rodin was defeated, Godzilla again ambushed the Zero monster and cut off one of its heads. In that fight, the United States Navy launched a prototype weapon called the Oxygen Destroyer, but the attack seemed to weaken Godzilla so much that the Monarch team thought Godzilla had been killed. Monster Zero, who was not affected by the Oxygen Destroying attack, returned to Isla de Mara and grew his severed head. After that, Monster Zero shouted and woke up all the dormant monsters around the world. The monsters also caused chaos in their resurrection place and seemed to submit to Monster Zero. Emma really didn't expect Zero's monsters to be able to do that. Realizing that what her mother did was something wrong, Madison finally secretly stole the Orca and took it away. Madison then took Orca to a field in Boston, America, and connected the device to audio. Who would have thought that thanks to what Madison did, the previously aggressive monsters slowly began to be tamed. The scream of Monster Zero also apparently awakened the Matra that was cocooned under the waterfall. The cocoon then hatched and revealed an enormous butterfly monster. Inside the headquarters of the Mono team, confused why the Oxygen Destroying attack was unable to kill Monster Zero. Unexpectedly, one of the Monarch scientists, namely Dr. Aileen Chen, discovered a fact that Monster Zero is the king of Ghidorah, a prehistoric alien that is different from other monsters, where the Zero monster is not a counterweight on planet Earth, but instead aims to destroy the Earth. Now they must quickly stop Ghidorah, because he has the power to affect every monster on planet Earth. Soon a light was seen in the sky, and it turned out to be a Matra, flying to the Monarch headquarters to communicate with Godzilla. Apparently Godzilla is currently alive, but his body is very weak, so he is recovering under the ancient sea. Mark then gets the idea to bring a nuclear bomb to Godzilla's place, so that Godzilla can recover his strength with nuclear radiation faster. On the way, the Monarch team's submarine is suddenly sucked by ocean currents into the Earth's cavity. Unexpectedly, they found several statues of ancient human civilizations. Only after that they managed to find Godzilla, who was recovering his strength by sucking nuclear radiation energy. When the Monarch team wanted to detonate the nuclear warheads they were carrying, the submarine's torpedo system was damaged by the impact in the ocean current. As a result, they were forced to place the nuclear warheads manually. But of course, with that much radiation, no one will survive if they approach Godzilla's lair. As a result, Dr. Serizawa sacrificed himself to manually detonate a nuclear warhead in order to help Godzilla. Dr. Serizawa finally set off for Godzilla's lair. Once he finished timing the nuclear bomb, Dr. Serizawa approached Godzilla, who looked at him as if he understood what Dr. Serizawa was feeling. Dr. Serizawa then held Godzilla's body for the first and last time before the nuclear bomb. Explosion final. Thanks to Dr. Serizawa's sacrifice, Godzilla was finally able to recover with a much larger and stronger body. After that, Mark commanded the Monarch team to unite to help Godzilla fight Ghidorah, who was moving towards Bastion to destroy Orca. Madison, who saw that, immediately ran away with Orca, but she was chased by Ghidorah. Fortunately, before Ghidorah attacked Madison, Godzilla and Monarch's team came to save her. After that, a fierce battle between Ghidorah and Godzilla took place again. Because Godzilla is very angry, his body automatically produces very high radiation. It is estimated that within 12 minutes Godzilla's body will emit radiation, so it will be very dangerous if there are humans nearby. This also made Mark desperate to go down to look for medicine alone. Soon Mark finally managed to find the damaged Orca, but he still couldn't find medicine. Then in the middle of the fight, Matra came to help Godzilla, but he was intercepted by Rodan. Fortunately, Matra finally managed to defeat Rodan, even though he was also injured quite badly. Meanwhile, Mark met Emma, who was also looking for medicine. In the end, they managed to find medicine, who was already helpless. Then they saw Godzilla was defeated by Ghidorah. Matra, who was there, tried to help Godzilla with his remaining energy, but after he was defeated, Matra's body fragments enter Godzilla's body. It's as if Matra is transferring his power to Godzilla. That's when Mark and Emma work together to repair Orca and use it to pull Ghidorah away from Godzilla. Emma ends up sacrificing herself to take Ghidorah away. And by time for Mark, Madison and Monarch's team to escape, just as Ghidorah is about to kill Emma, Godzilla rises up with nuclear radiation so high that it destroys Ghidorah's body. After Godzilla defeated Ghidorah, Rodan and the other monsters gathered around Godzilla and bowed to him, as a sign that Godzilla had officially become the king of the monsters. And the movie was finally over.